it always wasn't great for Michael O'Neill. I think Michael lost his first 14 games or something.
Yeah.
But they were going away and playing friendlies and all over the world. And people were dropping like flies because they didn't want to be associated with their country and they didn't want to go halfway around the world to get gubbed. But Steve Davis was always there. He was always there. Never missed a Northern Ireland trip. That's not to get 120 caps for Northern Ireland. That's your love of football. And that's your love of your country. And that's you wanting to make things better. That's what he's like.
This is Ibrox. Jimmy, we can't let the sort of European chat pass by without making comment on another thoroughly impressive performance by Stephen Davis.
Well, he's been doing it for years and years now. And again, the confidence that Rangers have going forward is possibly Steve Davis got a lot to do with it. Fullbacks can go. The two fullbacks can go knowing that Steve Davis is going to sit there. And Ryan Jack, don't get me wrong, it's not them. I'm only talking about Steve Davis because I watch Rangers for that reason. Not the only reason, but I keep an eye on him to see how he's doing. And very, very seldom I'll ever come away from a game and say, I don't know what was wrong with him today. I don't think. In fact, my last report into Ian Barcroft, the manager in Northern Ireland, I said, you know what? Steve Davis was a man of match today. Forget what league game was. Do you know Steve Davis was a man of match today? And he never played one penetrating pass. But that's it. Everything else. Sometimes you get midfielders, they'll switch a ball 50, 60, 70 yards, and they'll look great. And they'll do, are we penetrating passing the striker, the pass you're talking about, Hadji, and they'll do it. But Steve Davis didn't do it this particular game. But as for reading the game, reading danger, simple but effective passing, just everything, his all-round game was great. And for players to get forward knowing you got the security behind you, it's a great feeling. And he's just a quiet, inspirational lad and I'm glad I'm with Northern Ireland and get the opportunity to work with him because I can see what he's like now, not just as player on the park.
Tommy, I asked you last week about Alan McGregor, and I'm going to put you in the spot again because I did ask you last week if you thought McGregor was better first time round and now, and we got a lot of sort of stuff about how he's matured as a player, etc.
I can see where you're going with this, and I'm not chuffed at all.
You're very welcome. Same question, Steve Davis. Better this time around or better previous first time around?
God. Well, your connection's breaking up. I think probably for the same reason. Well, it's actually an interesting one, right? So I'll play it back a little bit. I think that this Stephen Davis is better because I think he's better able to massively control games from a position of more experience, less. I'm not saying he's any more or less fit than he was first time, but time does take its toll. Doesn't naturally get us forward much as he used to, but he can completely dictate a game.
Yeah.
And then there's the weight of having a guy like that's experience in the engine room and in the dressing room, keeping some of the younger people just focused on getting game after game after game. And yeah, that's probably why I say that he's this iteration, and dare I say it, it's an interesting one, right? But then you overlay the fact that a guy like that, when Steven Gerrard doesn't have tons of experience as a manager, that's not a criticism of Steven Gerrard, but previously Davis was here under Walter Smith, for example, as well, Cleach and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
And also maybe pound for pound working in more established teams.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying one team's better than the other, I'm just saying...
That's fair.
That's a good point, Tommy. That's a good point, working under different managers. Because that's an indication of what the player's like and what the person's like. You look at Steve Davis at Southampton. I don't know what the number is, but Steve Davis probably went under 3 or 4 different managers. At Southampton, maybe more. And every one of them managers made him captain. Because they know right away the influence he has. Not demonstrative, but the influence he has, because he's a listener. And he helps people, and he takes messages to the management if need be. And it's just one of them great sort of people to have a better dressing room.
Do you see that in Northern Ireland, Jimmy, in terms of that players just looking to him?
Yeah. He's always at the front. I know it's a wee thing, but he's always at the front in the training. He just, the way he goes about things, the way he quietly goes about things, you can't tell me he's young Northern Ireland players. Listen, the young Northern Ireland players do, and some are overconfident and cocky, you know what they're like these days. But it's the senior players, even senior players at the same age, look up to him with great respect. And I'll tell you why. And one of the reasons, it always wasn't great for Michael O'Neill. I think Michael lost his first 14 games or something.
Yeah.
But they were going away and playing friendlies and all over the world. And people were dropping like flies because they didn't want to be associated with their country and they didn't want to go halfway around the world to get gubbed. But Steve Davis was always there. He was always there. Never missed a Northern Ireland trip. That's not to get 120 caps for Northern Ireland. That's your love of football. And that's your love of your country. And that's you wanting to make things better. That's what he's like. And I organise all this for the staff. I organise all the nights out after games for the clubs and we're in Czechoslovakia. We're in and I got it all organised for the Northern Ireland staff. And we walked in and who's there? All the Northern Ireland players. Steve Davis had organised the same place. But his was a wee bit more than mine. I got about 10 quid each for a kitty. He had the whole place roped off. With big barrels and buckets of Budweiser and Grey Goose, whatever you call it. The place was all roped off. I've got a tenner a head kitty with the staff.
Couple of pints and a packet of salt and vinegar crisps. Sit in the corner and keep quiet.
Bottle of cheap Czech beer.
Oh dear, brilliant.
Fire's raging.